Addy soldiers. I've taken a break from dressing like a Grim Reaper, and now I feel like I look like a Tolkien e-girl. Oh, I can feel that in my sinuses. Is this an Olivia Rodrigo video? Because I'm feeling sour. I'm so sorry, that was terrible. So technically, I've never actually done a bookshelf tour. I've shown off pieces of it in videos, and I've done some declutters where you've seen most of it, but that was a long time ago. Things have changed. I also decided to do this video because I'm going to be moving. I don't know when this video is going up because I'm trying to batch film a bunch of stuff, so if I look the same in like 4 videos coming up, don't mind me. But this is either going up the week before I move or when I am moving. So truly wish me luck with the like metric fuck ton of books that I need to schlep to my new apartment. But I thought before I take it all down, you know, we might as well do a tour, and so you can see the old, and then I'll probably do some kind of video in the future setting up my new one again. Very quickly, a slight disclaimer is I know that there's a big talk about consumerism in the book community right now, which is great, but also I can spend the money that I make on whatever I want. And so I've decided that I'm going to spend that on books. And also everything that you're going to see here is an accumulation of 26 years worth of collecting, hoarding, buying books myself, getting things as gifts, getting sent as PR. So a lot of this stuff was free, and then also thrifting a lot of stuff. So I've gotten half of this stuff secondhand. Deep in my soul, there is a book dragon, and that book dragon loves consumerism. And like, yeah, I spend a lot of money on books, but hey, it could be drugs. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let us start with the shelf that you all see behind me most often in my videos. My bookshelves are arranged loosely by genre. I did originally try putting them in alphabetical order, but then like the bookstore employee just kept having war flashbacks of like overpacked shelves. So this is one of many fantasy shelves. First of all, I get a lot of questions on this. This is one of my babies. This is the top half of a skull of a white-tailed deer that my cousin, who does Aboriginal artwork with bones, gave to me. She's very beautiful. She's one of my bookshelf guardians, and she sits right in front of all the Maggie Stiefvaters. Also, if you watched my last video, you know that I have a slight obsession with the Raven boys, so I need somebody to stand guard. Rest of Maggie Stiefvater, and then some just kind of like general fantasy, Ink in the Blood, Blanca Roja. Poppy War is not YA, and it will traumatize you. Then we got Elise Kova Steampunk Dragons, which I just found out the Alchemist of Loom saga is going out of print, so if you want them, get them now. Up here I have my 2 pocket watches. This one is like a fake old one from when I actually went to London, but this one is real. This one was my grandfather's that he got in Germany in the 40s, I think. I'm playing this very well. We're gonna have to move you guys already. We got my Sabatier, some Susan Deddard, some Rashi Chakshi, and then, oh! What is that? Is that Witches of Ash and Ruin by my friend, good friend, writer friend, Erin Latimer? Everybody always asks me about this. So this is just an embroidery hoop that I put some of my bookish pins onto. So we have Sarah J. Maas, we have Furyborn, this one's like technically 6 of Crows, and then just some like other nerdy ones. This one glows in the dark. But I put them on an embroidery hoop because you can only have so many on a tote bag. Like I got to the point where literally I felt like I was carrying the entire New York Coin Exchange just walking down the sidewalk. I couldn't handle it anymore. So we have my Raven Skull necklace charm, which I got at Spirit Halloween, yet is somehow sturdy enough to probably knock somebody out if you chucked it hard enough. And then we have my other bookshelf guardian. This is Hamlet. Hamlet is a Pine Marten skull that I got from the Skull Store. I absolutely love the fact that that exists. And I just made him a little cushion from some leftover fabric I had, so he's just nice and aesthetic. And he sits right there. And he guards this portion of the shelf, which I loosely call, like, magical cursed carnival shelf. Night Circus, Caraval, Where Dreams Descend, like magical circuses are over on this side, including The Starless Sea, which is my all-time favorite book, and there's that tattoo. Watch that video from last week. Oh my god, there's another skull up here. Forget about these. So this is my ram skull that my ex-boyfriend 3D printed for me. I mean, the relationship didn't end very well, but like, I got a really cool little ram skull and a personalized scythe out of it, so hot tip, date an art student. Okay, now that we are here, do I go up or do I go down? I think we're gonna go up. Okay, this isn't the most flattering angle, but like, we're gonna make it work. So up here are my contemporaries. I have 1.5 shelves of my entire bookcase that are contemporaries, because like, I need some dragons, you know? So first of all, let me just say that I have a couple of crowns on these shelves, and I also have a couple of Corvids. So this is 1/2 of my crow bookends that I got from a friend. You can kind of see the other one over there. Their names are Hugin and Munin. Both of them are wearing a crown because they deserve it. And this is the first of a couple of crowns I have. This one is from a brand called Luna Corvus. Actually, you know what? Let's just... Hell yeah. All right, let's keep going. So over here is kind of a mix of things. I feel like most of my new adults here, so I have some like Robin York, I got some Casey McQuiston, randomly a Margaret Atwood in there. Margaret, how'd you get there? Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, there's some good ones in there. Then over here, this is where it starts to get squirrely. This is like the magic realism portion of the shelf. So we got some like Veronica Roth, some Pink Shepherd, We Are the Ants, which is one of my all-time favorite contemporaries. And then there's just a section over here of like purely magical libraries, which... love that I have an entire section for those. God, the 10,000 Doors of January is one of my all-time favorite books. It's so beautiful. I don't know why it's sitting next to Library at Mount Char, because this is one of the most fucked up books I've ever read. And then we have a sparkly deer ornament, because I didn't want to put it away after Christmas was over. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh, wow. I'm like Spider-Man. This is a beautiful teaspoon that is also a branch. I may or may not have stolen this from my ex-workplace, don't tell anyone. But I particularly love this because it reminds me of something that Ronan would dream from the Raven Boys. Like, it, to me, feels like a dream object. And this is a single pressed butterfly wing that I got from an antique store up the coast of BC. Oh, and you can see them up here. This is a pack of vintage astrology cards for Gemini. That's me, and I got those also at a vintage shop in Vancouver. All right, welcome to the Schwab shelf. There is so much murder on this shelf. I have almost all of V.E. Schwab's books except for her archive series, the young adult one, but A Darker Shade of Magic is one of the only books that I have multiple copies of. So I have the UK edition, I have the regular North American edition, and then I have the special black edition. I also have 2 copies of Vicious, which is not my fault, it was a gift. And then I also have the first one of her Steel Prince saga, which, oh, this is so freaking cool to be able to see it visually. And then on the other side here, we have my Samantha Shannons, which I love the Bone Season series. Have I read the 4th one? No, it's super complicated. I don't remember anything that happens in the first 3. Big Boy Priory of the Orange Tree, and then this lovely cross stitch that I did. I don't know about you, but like I just think this adds ambiance to the shelf, you know? And over here is my like Persian Arabian folklore inspired shelf. So we have We Hunt the Flame, City of Brass, Calendar Flame, Empire of Sand, Wrath in the Dawn. And then below that down here are just some like storage that don't have books in them. So let's pull a King Arthur and Excelsior, go onwards and upwards. Welcome to the right side of my bookshelf. Or like, I mean technically it's my left, like your other left. This is the other half of those Raven bookends, and the other crown, also from Luna Corvus. Let's just do a quick costume change. So this shelf is a little bit more plain, you know. I do have this embroidery that I did a little while ago, and this little moth box that my friend gave me for my birthday. This is also kind of a random fantasy shelf. Like we got my Lady Taylors, including Strange the Dreamer, which is one of my all-time favorite books, and the last time that I talked about doing a bookshelf tour, this book was missing. I literally had to track down that person and make them give it back. No one messes with the books that I have on my shelf, I'll tell you that right now. This basically is like all the tall books that also fit here. This is also the shelf that is going to change the most when I move, because I have a lot of sequels to these books that I haven't read yet, but need to go all together. Like, thank God The Merciful Crow is only a duology, but like I have There Will Come a Darkness and Furyborn, which I have the sequels to that obviously won't fit here, so that's an existential crisis for another later date. And then we got some like fairy tale stuff. We got the Cursebreaker series, which is one of my all-time favorites. Beauty and the Beast retellings are real hit or miss. These hit so hard. And then if we go up, we go to the other contemporary portion of my shelves. First, we must remove the decorative leaves, dried flowers, a candle that my mommy got me, and the one and only Funko Pop that I have allowed myself to buy. Last night at the Telegraph Club, I have read but don't have space for, so it's just hanging out over here by itself. As you can see, I have a combination of hardcover and softcover books together. I know some people are real pedantic about that and like they need all hardcovers, or you know, the whole series has to be in softcover, they can't have one or the other. You want me to have all hardcovers in this economy? Bitch, I'm gonna get whatever I have and I'm gonna make it work. Plus a lot of these are also advanced copies of stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to buy it twice. I don't got that kind of money. They got the Adam Silvera corner, and then we got a bunch of other classic contemporaries like My Life Next Door, Geekarella. I have some Wattpad books in in here, which is real fun. In 27 days, I remember I was working at the bookstore and I was checking out a girl. Not like checking out a girl, but like checking out a girl. I didn't start checking out girls till much later. But she handed it to me and I looked down and I swear my brain like took a screenshot. And then I yelled. Like I truly was like, oh my god, where'd you get this? And then we both like fangirled over having read it on Wattpad, and now it's a real book that you can go and buy with your money dollars. Love that. And then at the top over there's a lot of gay shit. You know me. I read lesser than or equal to a contemporary a year. So if I've kept it for this long, you know it's good in my professional book blogger opinion. Oh, and if you look up a little bit further, what's that up there? It's a dinosaur. I was gonna give the crown back to the bird, but I don't really want to. So all of my really tall hardcovers go here, because the way that my bookshelves are set up, like the amount of shelves they have, these kind of have to go here. But I will say, these are all some of my holy grail fantasy novels. And then over here I have my one bookish candle, which is the Rysand scent from Wiccan Fable. You know I'm not a big fan of Sarah J Maas, but like, I am never getting rid of this candle. Goddamn. Then I have some Furyborn character cards that I got at a book event when Furyborn came out, which, when was that? It was 3 years ago, it was 10 years ago, I don't know. So here we got a lot of Rothfuss, we got a lot of Madeline Miller, then we have like Raybear, These Violent Delights, a lot of fantastic fantasy novels like Bone Shard Daughter and Black Sun, Lore, Realmbreaker, oh my god, yes! Oh, we got The Wolf and the Woodsman, which I just finished, which was phenomenal, but not for people under 18. Like, I can look at this shelf and confidently say that every book on here fucking slaps. And these are truly just, again, overflow. I don't Winterwood, Spin the Dawn, Song of Wraith Ruin, and Cerulean Sea, but these I just don't have anywhere to put them right now, so they're just kind of hanging out with their cousins. I will find you worthy homes when I move and can buy another bookshelf. Alright, you guys gotta go back there for now, and I'm gonna have to get on the floor. So this is what I have deemed the fairy shelf, because old subscriber, new subscriber, you basically have to be on here for like 3 seconds before I'm like, hey, have I told you that I like fairy lore? And I will say, Holly Black is the queen of fairy stories, but Crystal Sutherland is the goddamn empress. Also high up somewhere in that court, I don't really know the names of literally anybody else. Princess, maybe? High lady of fairy lore is Elizabeth May. Then we have Catherine Arden's Baron of the Nightingale series. I have Deathless by Catherine M. Valente, which is so beautiful. We got Enchantment of Ravens, The Last Unicorn, some classics. And then these keys, which I don't know where I got them or what they go to, but that seems like a fairy item if there ever was one. Speaking of keys, oh, this is very unstable. So keys, I mentioned, is this ring of like old-fashioned Victorian looking keys that are not very fairy-like because I bought them from a HomeSense. But then again, HomeSense itself is a very liminal space, so... And they sit on top of some character cards that I, again, got from a book event, and that is for this series here, which is Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. And then also this thing right here is very dusty black pumpkin that my friend bullied me into getting at IKEA. Again, this part of the shelf is just kind of random because I don't know where else to put them. So these are actually my old fairy books. I got some of them in New York. I found some of them here. These are a series of books by Andrew Lang that are very hard to find, and I'm so happy that I actually have some antique copies. Some OG Kelly Armstrong. This is my original copy from like, when did this even come out? Oh, opening this was crunchy. 2008! Oh my god! And then see, internet, I have in fact read Mistborn. Quite enjoyed it. And as you can see from how many spine creases are in these, my very well-loved Redheaded Stepchild series, which is a vampire paranormal book that is real dark and real funny. And then the only two books I've kept from reading in class are The Picture of Dorian Gray and Jane Eyre. And then we'll get a real good tilt for the shelf below. Hello, welcome to my floor. First of all, let's address the fact that I have a voucher for one human soul that I have not used yet, so, you know, don't leave anything mean in the comments. And then I also have this very appropriate Stay Home Club pennant. Oh god, this is so dusty. I should have cleaned beforehand, but I didn't. Oh, that's where that is. Oh my god. Angel Fall. What are you doing there? You have been stressing me out these last couple of months. I had no idea where you were. You are out at all hours of the night with those wild, crazy kids, and I wasn't sure what was happening to you. Go to your room. There. You're gonna stay there think about what you did. These are also my OG series. So we have my original copy of Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. I have the Strange Angels series, which I love. My original copy of The Selection, which I am keeping only to hate read. And then over here you have my very beloved stack of vampire romance novels that you will have to pry from my cold, dead hands. Oh baby, my camera battery is running very low. Let's see how far I can push this charge. Over here is also a little weird, mostly because, again, space, don't know where to put things. Appropriate, because this is my sci-fi shelf. We got some nice decorative flowers. There's nothing that exciting up there, they're just more candles. We got my Neil Schustermans, just in case you're wondering, like all those rumors of like book nerds being wild and being strange. When I finished Thunderhead, I threw it across the room. I was distressed. A bunch of really awesome new adult sci-fis like Gideon the Ninth, which is lesbian necromancers in space. I can't say no to that. Winter's Orbit, more gays in space. Victory is Greater Than Death, gays in space. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, Seven Devils, and First Sister, queers in space. Are we sensing a theme here? I think we are. Then these two, which are like sci-fi adjacent, which is why I keep them here. The ones we're meant to find and Infinity Quartz are some of the best books that I have read this year. Holy shit. Yeah, highly recommend. And then the end of this shelf is like a little annoying because we have, I guess this is like paranormal, supernatural stuff. Supernatural Dexter, ace main character, just saying. Three Dark Crowns, which is fantasy, and then the Sawkill Girls, which is horror, paranormal. So like, the thematic dissonance of this shelf bothers my brain, but I've also like come to a compromise with myself over this is where they fit, so you're just gonna have to make it work. Also, if you can see up there, I have my OG Red Queen series that is signed by Victoria Aveyard because they ran her event, and she's so lovely and wonderful. Diabolic, which is a series that like nobody talks about, but has some of the most bananas plot twists that I have ever read in my life. Because you can already see the monolith that is this shelf. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Cassandra Clare shelf. I have moved Cassandra Clare's books all around my bookshelf because we're full up. Like, I'm at maximum capacity. I don't know what I'm gonna do when she releases the third one of the Chain of Iron series. Okay, I just moved you guys just a tad. So this is a little jewelry container that I have that has some perfume samples and just some of the jewelry that I wear every single day. This is my luxury watch from Le Walmart. And in case you're ever wondering what my favorite perfume is, it's Juliet Has a Gun. It smells like you're already wearing vanilla perfume, walking through a flower garden that's been abandoned for 100 years. And this is a used up broken candle that I'm just gonna throw this out right now. I have enough Cassandra Clare books to build a small throne on which to sit upon, blessed by the writer herself, because once in person to my face, she told me that I look how Clary looks like in her head. It has been spoken! Also, I find this interesting. So my original trilogy of The City of Bones, as you can see, very well loved from those spine cracks, is these little like mass market paperbacks, and everybody that I know freaks out whenever they see these. Were these not a widespread thing? I think I just bought them at the time because like that's what the bookstore had. So, I don't know. City of Bones is also one of the only books that I have multiple copies of. So this is my original copy. Then I have the original copy in soft cover, and then the new copy, the new printing copy from like a couple years ago, and the 10th anniversary edition copy. I got these two at a thrift store, so I didn't spend a ton of money. And then I have hardcovers, as you can see in all of her other books, because they're all first editions. Also, I don't think you can see these too well, but these are my fact and fiction bookends, which, I mean, one day when I have enough shelf space to need bookends, when books aren't crammed into every single tiny section of the shelf, maybe I'll actually show off. But for now, they're doing their job over here. So this is the shelf that like scared you a little bit because you're like, oh shit, that's a real stand right there. This next shelf is going to get me canceled. Welcome to the section I call These Authors Have Been Cancelled shelves. I have all the Sarah J. Maas's, and I have a lot of J. Kristoff's. So, hear me out. Due to some career moves that I don't agree with, I am no longer going to be supporting Sarah J. Maas or J. Kristoff. But at the same time, their books made a really big impression on me, and I love some of the things that are in them. These were all major players in my reading journey, and I spent a lot of money on them. I don't really want to just throw them out. So I'm gonna keep them for now, and I'm not going to advertise them, basically, in any video. And I feel like that's how I've kind of made peace with myself. And maybe one day I will feel secure enough to let them go, but at that moment I don't. So I'm just going to kind of like keep them on a lower shelf that no one sees too often. Along on this shelf I have my Valaris embroidery that I did myself. I have more antlers because of course we do, so here's another Christmas ornament. Something else that's kind of cool, I have wax and a wax seal. So, you know, any pen pals out there, let me know. Then I have some fun pins like this Fierce Reads one, and this Truth Witch one, and then very obviously we gotta get one of these. I also have this super cool bookend that I thrifted, that this just has one of my quill tip pens just hanging out in it. I don't know, I think it goes well together. Also lower on this banished authors shelf is Scott Lynch, because oops, he's a sexual predator, that sucks. And my only Harry Potter book, which is the Slytherin House edition of Philosopher's Stone, because my friend gave it to me for my birthday. She wrote a little nice note in it, it's really sweet, so I can't get rid of this. Okay, that's a little better for you to see this portion. Again, random stuff is down here, because I have my only Elizabeth Gilbert book, and then my Amy McKay's, which I quite enjoy, but I like historical, so like, who knows where they go. Then we get into some fairy tale stuff. So this is my Grizz Grimley's Grimm book that has some really wicked macabre art. My friend got me a very beautiful copy of What is Milk, Red as Blood, which, like, can I just wallpaper my house in this? I mean, I am moving, so like, maybe I'll just put this up on my wall. Like, could you imagine waking up in the morning and just seeing this on your walls? Like, that seems exactly like the place I want to be. Lastly, this is also a beautiful gift, another illustrated Grimm's Fairy Tales edition with the original story endings. So the ones where, you know, like the evil stepmom actually dies and there's like a lot of blood and gore and like people getting murdered. Right then, let's set that up, and final shelf. We're gonna have to do a real big camera tilt. Oh god, I hope this doesn't fall over. So this shelf at the bottom's a little weird because, again, don't have places to fit them, so I have my middle grade and my poetry, which is not a natural combination, but yeah. I have a graphic novel, which is from some local artists, which I would recommend, and my best friend's poetry book, Lavender Reverie by Zoe Norman. You can get yours now. My poetry in here includes some Michael Fawcett, some Lang Leaf, Before She Got Weird, a lot of Nikita Gill, which, like, oh my god, her words speak to what is left of my soul. Some Lovelace, and then Whiskey Words and a Shovel number 3, because the third one's the only good one, fight me. And then as for middle grade, we have The Wee Freeman, which I just finished last month. Some OG of my favorites. We have Prophecy of Stones, The Riddles of Epsilon, and my original, what's the word for 5? Quintuple? Quintet? We made it, folks. My original quintet of Percy Jackson. The Tale of Emily Winsnap, which is a classic that I remember showing this, I think, on TikTok, and had so many comments being like, you just unlocked a buried childhood memory. But Ariel was the only redheaded Disney princess until Merida came along when I was already in my 20s. Like, what other character was 5-year-old me supposed to attach her personality to? My unicorn books from when I was a kid, like, what up, other fellow horse girls? And the two curiosities on this shelf are this beautiful crane tin that my grandmother gave me, and this very fun pentagram mirror that I got from an antique store in Vancouver. And is it haunted? Who knows? It's like a fun gamble. Before we rise from the floor, I would like to show off some art here. So a lot of people think that I commissioned these. I did not. I think this character is from Overwatch, and this is, oh, what's her name? From X-Files. The lady from X-Files. These are from a local artist named Tuna Snaps, and I saw them in a store. I thought they were so cute, and because they look like me, so I bought them. And then we have my 2 postcards from the Strand when I went to New York. So we have Read a Fucking Book and Meet Me at the Bookstore. I also have my masks hanging over here. So we have Classic Midnight. We have this one, which is floral. It has like hidden moths and beetles in it, and like, if you can see the beetles, you're too fucking close. Get away from me, you nasty. And then my like fun little orange blossom one, because like, when you want to be summery and cute, you know, there's 3 facets of my personality. Now, I'm also sure that if you've watched this whole video, you're wondering why there isn't one very big, very beloved YA author nowhere to be seen on these shelves. And of course, we're talking about Leigh Bardugo. Leigh Bardugo has her own shelf I'm just gonna swing you guys right around here. So over here we have the Leigh Bardugo shelf, which also has a lot of, you know, appropriate decor. Here we have my original trilogy of the Shadow and Bone series, and then the new Netflix cover that Raincoast sent me. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a ring that says "No mourners, no funerals." Another bookshelf guardian, and then I have some wine bottles over here, and I'm just, is that trashy? I know displaying like beer bottles or like whiskey bottles is there like frat house energy, but like they're so pretty. Like, is this weird? But you know what, this one has a crow on it, and I feel like having it next to Kaz is appropriate. Again, original Six of Crows duology, my King of Scars duology. I do have the Language of Thorns. And then the new Netflix cover for Six of Crows, very beautiful. This is a hourglass that I got from an antique shop in Seattle. And then this bell, which I call it a fairy bell because it just has such a lovely sound, and I got that when I was in South Africa. And then we have some pins over here. Some of them are related to Leigh Bardugo. Wow, this shelf is super dusty. Please ignore that. Another antler, and then some other beautiful pieces that I got sent in PR. So this has been my bookshelf tour, and I don't know if it's going to look remotely similar after I move. And we haven't even talked about the TBR bookcase that is in the corner, because I like to separate the books that I haven't read and have read. So once I've read one from the TBR bookshelf, it goes onto the real bookshelf. And I feel like I am this close to just descending into pure feral chaos. Another thing I get a lot of, especially when I say I don't have room on my shelves, and because I'm moving too, people are like, well, why don't you get rid of some? Would you get rid of some of your children? You've seen over the last maybe 2 years, I've done like multiple book purges. So I started doing this a little while ago where I will only keep a book if it made me feel a visceral reaction, and or I think I'm going to reread it within the next 2 to 3 years. Anything else, if I thought it was just mediocre, if I liked it but like not a ton, back to the store it goes, it gets donated, it gets given to friends. So this kind of is the final product. Like, I really truly love every single book that is on my shelves, which is a great thing to say. I'm hoping that because in my new apartment I'm going to be living by myself, I can put my bookshelves in the living room and have like a library. I think that's gonna be so fun. Maybe I'll keep like one shelf in my bedroom, but I would love to be able to have them all in one spot, like a library wall, and then I can film in my like new living room and have more space. Please leave down below if you have any comments or questions, and let me know what your method of book organization is. I don't know, it's gonna be a wild ride. I have no idea what my upload schedule is gonna be like in the next couple of weeks. You know where I click like the video, you know where I click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!